Hello, good evening. Good evening, Zambia. We promised that we were going to come back today, and here we are. I'm going to let you share with as many people as possible so that they can join us. We have something, I won't say exciting, it's pretty sad, of the events that happened in my hometown of Chingola. So we want to get it right from the horse's mouth. And so I have my co-presenter, Mr. Munshya and Chipakupaku, also known as General. But I've also got Professor Kasonso, Dr. Kasonso, who is going to also be part of this broadcast, and the aide to President Hakainde Hichilema, Mr. Mobita Christopher Nawa, who is also on standby. So it's going to be a very exciting broadcast today, because we just need to get this right from the horse's mouth. We cannot trust the versions that the police are telling us, because as we have said previously, the spokesperson for the police, Madam Esther Mwatagatongo Babufi, and so she is unreliable. We cannot take her word at all. Neither are we going to accept statements from the Zambia police top brass. Okay. So in the event of that, we need to listen from the people who were there, and then we are going to make up an assessment of what exactly happened today. General, how are you doing?
Good evening. Good evening, Chiwempala. Good evening, Zambia, and good evening to all the Bakwetu viewers all over the world. What a weekend of work and more work. How is Canada tonight, Munshya?
Canada is good. I was preaching today. So just before I went to church, I thought it was a very important thing that I did. So I addressed our viewers. So I was on our broadcast for a few minutes because I couldn't just hold it. Anyway, after that, then I went to church. I was preaching at church. Now I'm back home, and I'm very happy that we could do this. Calgary is pretty nice. It's quite sunny out there.
Well, we've had a beautiful weekend in Scotland. Weather beautiful, fantastic, and it looks like it's going to be a good summer. So far, it looks good. You can see I'm wearing my casual tonight, right, and preparing for work. But it has been a very, very busy weekend for me. I've had meetings after meetings with the situation at home, events unfolding, which is really, really sad.
Yeah, I did on Friday. I did a half marathon. So after a half marathon, you just feel a little a different kind of tired 2 days afterwards. So I'm feeling like that, but I think I'll be okay. What do you think?
Oh, you're looking fit, Munshya. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. What you need to do is to make that Chiwempala tea you make, and you'll be fine. I've got my Sunquick ready here, right, which is fantastic. And if I don't take it,
yeah,
our viewers won't be happy. We've had a lot of complaints for the last 2 days. I was asked, why are you not live? And I said, look, there's a lot of work to be done. So I'm hope that we've got the maximum attendance tonight.
Right. No, we are still building. We are still building the audience. As you know, it takes time, but we are having video quality issues.
Yeah,
I think it has to do with broadband, because my home office is actually in the basement, General. I know that in Scotland you don't build houses with basements.
We do. We do. Right, okay. We do have houses in the basement as well, because in the basement at times it gets cooler, and when it's very, very cold, it's warmer down.
Yeah. So now down in my basement here, I think my Wi-Fi misbehaved. Something else misbehaved. Anyway, we'll try to see, and sorry about the quality, which is not good. We'll try to find ways of improving the quality. Sorry to our viewers and our listeners. I think it will be improved by the time we are done here. Okay, General. I want to bring Mr. Nawa right away so that we can get finished with him, and then we're going to bring Dr. Kasonso, and then we're going to reflect on some of the things that have happened. The main issue that I want Mr. Nawa to deal with is to tell us exactly what happened in Chingola. Now, General, Chingola is very personal to me. You know why?
Why, Munshya? Why?
Okay. General, you know, because I was born and I grew up in Chingola. So Chingola is my hometown. So it's extremely personal to me. Anything that happens in Chingola affects me, affects my family, affects my cousins, affects my aunt who still lives in Chingola, affects my big father, who lives in Chingola, accepts my cousin. It affects nearly the whole bunch of relatives there in Chingola.
Well, Chingola is special to me as well because my uncle, Mr. Chipakupaku, grew up and worked in Chingola for a long time. So we have a number of Chipakupakus in Chingola.
All right.
So whatever happens in Chingola, whatever happens in Mfulira, where some of us were brought up,
right,
it means a lot. And to me, whatever happens in the Copperbelt has a major impact on the political situation of Zambia.
Now, Copperbelt na kulyumulilo. In other words, Copperbelt kulyumulilo. Na ba show mulilo Copperbelt. To allow him for we know what happened. And so I believe that with the Chipakupakus in Chingola, Chingola is the most multi-tribal urban area, I think. And I think we recognize it because of the diversity. That's why I like it. Because without you Impala, you grow with, you're growing up with everybody. It's one, you're growing up, you're listening to Lunda, you're listening to Chokwe, Luvale, Kaonde, Nechaushi. You are listening to all these languages as you are growing up. And so that's why it's very special. Now, we're going to bring up Mr. Mubita Nawa right now. Can we do that, General?
Oh, yes, please. Let's bring Mubita, because Mubita has had a long week and a long day. And to our viewers, I think Copperbelt is on fire. And what is happening is that the police is either going to dump down the fire or they're going to light more fire. So it's up to Nawa to tell us what's happening. Nawa Manaka, Mubita, Christopher Nawa, welcome to Munshya TV. And I know that you've been busy, and I know that we won't tell people where you are tonight. What is happening with the Copperbelt? First of all, is our president safe?
Oh, we've lost him.
We've lost Nawa.
Yeah, we've lost now. Now, I understand that Mulilo fire. Now I'm bomb Mulilo Copperbelt. Tachiwe meyo. And so it has sent a lot of shivers along the spine of the Patriotic Front because of what has happened in the Copperbelt.
Copperbelt has been on fire. It's going to be on fire. And those who know the political history of Zambia, when Copperbelt turns, the whole country turns.
Right.
When the Copperbelt coughs, everybody gets a cough. So over to you now. First question, is our president safe? Is Bali safe tonight?
First of all,
Wow. Well, now I think the signal from Zambia is really, really bad. It looks like
in the last broadcast, the young people refused to leave his room. They said we're going to stay here.
Munshya, it looks like Victor doesn't want Nawa to speak.
It's pretty bad.
Yeah.
Okay.
Movita, I would suggest that you mute your video and just come with your audio. Is that okay?
Okay, we'll get him once he's back. He's not yet back. Professor Kasonso.
Yes, sir.
At Copperbelt kuli umulilo. First of all, welcome back to TV Vakwet. We missed you.
Thank you, sir. I also missed TV Vakwetu, and a lot of my friends actually came to my inbox to bully me to return. So I'm sure I've made some people happy, and I've also made myself happy. And thank you for this platform, and thank you for the opportunity to share our thoughts and to interact and just breathe life into the life of our country and what is happening. Yeah, Copperbelt ngana kukava nishnava ya mkwai kuyavevere.
Yeah, because the reports we are receiving are pretty interesting. Anyway, Mr. Nawa, are you back? No. It appears like network is still bad for Mr. Nawa.
It appears the network is bad, but can I bring in Chairman Matambo from Rwansha in case we get him loud and clear?
Right. Yes. Let's try that. Okay. You'll be working in the background. Let me speak with Dr. Kasonso then.
Go ahead, please.
Okay. Right. Okay. So viewers, as you can see, we are experiencing some difficulties bringing Mr. Nawa on the platform. And so the reason why we needed him was for him to tell us a little bit of what happened in Chingola. Professor Kasonso, I do understand that this is tax season, and so numbers, you are extremely busy with numbers. How is that going?
Mkoya mapendo nokupoya pwanomba. But every time we have the end of tax season, like we had the end of tax season mid-May, the following month is just also the same as the period when you're doing taxes, because we have a lot of people who file their extensions, and we have to help them resolve their tax issues immediately after the deadline has ended or after they've obtained the mandatory the required extension. So we have been quite busy, and it's helping to keep the lights on. Hello? I can see you, I can't hear you, and I can see myself talk, and nothing more is going on. Yeah, but it's my understanding also that there are efforts to clamp down on medias like TV Vakwetu, Zambia Blog Talk Radio, and other platforms of people who are using these who are using these platforms to speak about matters of our country or breathe life into the soul of our nation. They are clamping down, and they're using insidious methods of hacking into the programs and damaging the line, taking control of the shows and stuff like that. So what I would advise you to do is to have a backup system or a secondary way to thwart the attempts by the surrogates of the PF to hack into these programs. All
right. Okay. I think we'll try to do that. Thank you very much. Mr. Nawa, are you back now?
Yes, I apologize. Our internet, maybe as Brother John says, maybe it's been hacked. I'm not sure. You can't trust these people anymore.
Neither can I. Anyway, please, Mr. Nawa, you are now. This is your floor now. We'll come back, please.
Thank you. Sorry about that. So as I was saying earlier, the president addressed a meeting this evening in Chingola in front of enthusiastic young people, adult people, party structures, alliance partners, to just reassure the nation. And he hinted a little bit about what transpired today. But all in all, he is very safe. He is well. At the rate things are going, you cannot be too safe because his vehicle was glazed today. And that is armor, whichever way you want to look at it. Anytime you are glazed, that's a fate. That's a dance with fate and destiny. And I think for a lot of people today, we had a scare.
Right. So where was he coming from? I do understand that he was going to Chiwempala UCZ church today. Chiwempala. So
the president had 2 church congregational engagements this morning. Aside from the roadshow that was planned for this morning, and there were hiccups with the roadshow. So as he was waiting for the roadshow issues to be resolved, which we don't understand because this is election period, this is campaign period. We are entitled to roadshows. We are entitled to door-to-door campaigns. We're entitled to rallies. They've taken that away. So the president, on his schedule and itinerary, had 2 church engagements. And no sooner had he just left the lodge or the place where he was, the residence, we were met by several vehicles that blocked him. At that time, some of the personnel within the team went and approached the police, and there was some back and forth, some negotiations, some tempers, and there was some agreement to say they would let him go through. Or let the motorcade go through, which was a reasonably sized motorcade. It was not a big motorcade at all. But we have to remember, this is a president of the largest political party. He doesn't ride a bicycle on his own. He cannot do that. He represents 3.6, 3.8 million Zambians. He can't just go alone. You know, some people are saying, no, it's COVID. Why does he move with a lot of people? I've seen ministers move with more people than our president. Mm-hmm. So at that time, there was an agreement that he could pass, which we started moving. No sooner had that happened than another slew of vehicles, high-powered, some brand new, some old, some plain-clothes individuals, some in heavy machinery, came and blocked. And that was when the fracas pretty much started. Some of our security personnel, obviously, stood their ground. And there was some private vehicles in the distance. You know, there are certain things we probably cannot even talk about. But that's when tear gas were discharged, live bullets were fired, and one of the ordinances, I want to call it an ordinance because I don't want to say too much, glazed the vehicle of the president right where he was seated. Fortunately, in today's, the president has a tendency to want to engage with officers. As you know, he's very kind to the officers, sometimes beyond my personal reasoning. Because some of these people have done horrible things, including the death of Joseph Kaunda and Nsamansama. The president always has this kind heart, and I respect him for that. Today, fortunately, he sat in his vehicle. We don't know what would have happened had he come out of his vehicle.
Now, what we hear is that these private vehicles came from nowhere. And the story is that most of these vehicles came from Lusaka. And to be very honest with you, we are getting photographs and names of some of these people and having come from Lusaka. Can you confirm that these were vehicles, private registration number? They were not police vehicles which came and blocked?
In the system of government, the little we know, we've never been in government yet, but I mean, we're getting ready to form government after August 12th. But the government has different types of number plates. It has the Government Republic of Zambia number plate. It has the Zambia Police. It has ZNS. It has all kinds of number plates. But the government also has private number plates, you know, and sometimes the government takes out number plates. So for us, from a layman's point of view, we cannot speculate. But there's one thing that's always clear with state machinery. They know each other. They know each other. There's a certain code they have. And usually, for an assignment like that one, there's no way a young Lance Corporal from Solwezi or Chuempala would show up in such a delegation without some sort of command.
Right.
These people have a hierarchy, they have a structure, they have a way that they get their instructions. So
right.
For us, it matters less where those vehicles came from. They could have come from Shangombo, for all we care for. We care less about where they came from. We care about the infringement on a fundamental right of our president, which is his right to assemble, his right to worship, his right to travel, his right to campaign, his right to his fundamental freedoms enshrined in the Constitution of Zambia, in the Bill of Rights. And this is the infringement that the people of Zambia have suffered, especially over the past 7 years.
Right. What do you think is causing PF to panic? What has been happening in the last 2 days in the Copperbelt?
So we arrived in Ndola on, the day, some days have been so long, I can't even remember, but we've been on the Copperbelt for slightly over a week. And what happened was the day we were leaving Lusaka to go to the Copperbelt, we got news that the vice president was suddenly from nowhere scheduled to go to the Copperbelt. Right. And when we arrived, our first itinerary item was to pay our respects to a wonderful departed soul, member and supporter of our party, and we were putting him to rest in Ndola at Kansenshi Cemetery. And so what started to happen was we were blocked, roads that were normal roads were being detoured. At one point, right in Ndola, there was a fracas, a huge altercation with the police.
Okay, when you say blocking, what equipment is the police using to block the entourage?
They are not using wheelbarrows, Kasomush. They are not using bicycles. They are using, those big South African kind of apartheid era vehicles, the armored vehicles, almost amphibious looking vehicles where you probably just see, one little eye hole and so on. So there's a combination of those. There's a combination of land cruisers. There's a combination of private vehicles. They are all most of them in military combat, riot gear, and some in private clothes, brandishing AK-47 rifles, short batons, pistols, you name it. They are using it all. And there are some infiltrated in the audience. So they are literally like what happened in Ndola. We were blocked from going anywhere in terms of, I'll give you a short story. The route from the cemetery to where the president was staying was like a 2-minute drive. We drove 25 minutes to get to the house. All because they did not want the president to drive through Ndola town. And we stayed in Ndola. We tried to go to Kitwe. They say, when we were in Ndola, the vice president was in Ndola. The day we were to go to Kitwe, the vice president went to Kitwe. And they told us, you can't go to Kitwe.
Because the vice president is in Kitwe.
In the UK, the vice president rides a train with citizens, rides a bicycle with citizens. The prime minister rides a train with citizens. In New York, senators ride the subway with citizens. Here in Zambia, when a vice president is in a town, the leader of the opposition cannot breathe in that town. That's a fundamental violation of human rights. And that is not a sign of greatness. That is a sign of myopia and short-sightedness. And that is a sign of misinterpretation of the constitution of this country.
Right. Now go back to where in Ndola you try, and then where it all started. So in Ndola, you just got all these messages, yes?
Yes, so we sat in the lodge or wherever we were with the president, and time was just standing still, and I was frustrated. I always get more frustrated than the president, and he is the calmest man in the world. I don't even know, I don't even understand my president sometimes, because he is so calm in the midst of pressure. And I'm like, Mr. President, and he smiles. He says, Mubita, we are almost there. We are almost there. He is such a patient man. And we sat, so we waited another 2 days, 3 days. Eventually, we did road shows in Ndola. And it became such a beautiful blessing in disguise. Whilst they stopped us from going to Kitwe, We did the most powerful, amazing road shows in Ndola.
Right.
And we just thank God it went absolutely fantastic.
Right. And I think they felt the earth move, isn't it? There was a tremor. There was a little
I
tremor
think
in
that
Ndola.
the
What do you
earth
think?
disappeared from under their feet. And Uncle Norman asked the question, what is bothering these people? Let me tell you what is bothering these people. These are people Zambians entrusted with their vote, with the resources of this country. They took the money of this country, the opportunities of this country. For example, bad condoms, leaky condoms, expired medicines, Mukula scandals. They took all those opportunities to enrich themselves. And they forgot about Zambians, number one. Number two, they underestimated Hakainde Hichilema because they said he has lost 5 times, he's going to lose again. And lastly, their focus was in empowering people who were hound dogs after Hakainde Hichilema. They forgot to empower Zambians who were suffering and are still suffering. So in the meantime, whilst all this was going on, they wake up and find their nemesis, their arch rival, is more powerful than them, period. And they have been told by every security agency around the world, including those in SADC, that they are losing this election. And they are in denial. They are in absolute denial. And you heard yesterday, one of the chief bootlickers of this regime says, he said yesterday, we need more money. That's why we're not doing well. And this is how, sometimes you just have to wonder what goes on in some of these people's heads. It's not money that will make you win elections. It's leadership. It's service to society. It's having a vision. How much money do you need? You can afford groceries for 2 million kwacha, for crying out loud.
But Mobita, we hear they've got all the money. We hear they're boasting that they are going to win by 70%. We hear some of the bootlickers, including one of the most tribalistic fellow, I don't want even to mention his name, is flying in a helicopter. Meanwhile, we hear 7 new helicopters have been brought in. What's going on? What's really going on?
I think after August 12th, there will have to be some kind of tribunal to probe the sources of wealth. Helicopters are not wheelbarrows. They are not chopping sticks or toothpicks. They are very expensive properties worth $8-9 million each, the type they are buying. And even they are tribalist. And I was thinking today, when you are desperate, Uncle Norman, you tend to do desperate things. And everything they are doing right now is to hold on to a fish that has slipped away into the waters. And this fish is called trust. Zambians don't trust these people anymore. And they're trying to fatten this cow in 65 days. It's just not possible. The tribalists that they are put in a helicopter is being received by a dozen grade 2, grade 3 children who have just come to watch a helicopter. If I was 7 years, I would also run to watch a helicopter. I think even now, I'm fascinated by a helicopter, but in the case of Zambia, we are not fascinated by the people in these helicopters. And they need to get it straight. And this is what killed Dr. Kaunda in his time. He had these people around him called demagogues. They are liars. They portray a picture that is not real. Saddam Hussein had a minister of information that literally told Saddam he was winning the war when the British and American troops were right at the footsteps of Baghdad. And that's what's happening in Zambia right now. They have lost the power. The power has gone back to the people. And the people are about to entrust that power to Hakainde Hichilema. And that is giving them sleepless nights.
Let's go back to Chingola. So the President Hichilema left Kitwe and went to Chingola, right?
Yes. So let me tell you how he left Kitwe.
Right.
He got to Kitwe last night. We got to Kitwe last night. literally around 19:30 p.m. last night, tear gas being fired at 19:30. When have you ever seen tear gas in the night? Like, even tear gas have protocols. You don't fire tear gas in the night. We were dodging tear gas last night. Roads blocked, armored vehicles all around. You know, they bought so many bullets, they don't know what to do with them. So we go to this secretariat in Kitwe. He's literally there, whisked in for 10 minutes. The moment he's done talking, we whisk him away. We go to Chingola. We arrive in Chingola, incidents free. This morning we go to church, and the president loves to worship. He was blocked. When those 6 or 7 vehicles came, they were not compromising anymore. We ushered the president back to his safe place, and that's where he sat for most of the day.
Unbelievable. Now, so the police have issued a statement. Why shouldn't we believe the police's statement?
Well,
you have to bear with me. I haven't seen the statement. I wish I had the...
Munshya, I've seen the statement. I've read the statement. I think that's the most stupid statement which has ever been produced by a spokesperson. Very childish, and I'm very happy to call it stupid, because it looks like it's a grade 2 essay trying to justify things which can't be justified.
Right.
And if Esther Katongo is listening, I think she should resign.
Right.
Because that is being childish.
Right.
That statement is like a grade 2 trying to justify that she has stolen a sweet from a neighbor, but she has been caught, but she wants to say, no, I'm not the one who stole the sweet.
Right.
And that's exactly what the police is trying to do. They're trying to defend themselves. That statement is the worst statement.
Right.
You know, the police statements are always 2-3 paragraphs. I've never seen a police statement of 7 paragraphs, 8 paragraphs.
Right.
And it's
a reminder to all the leaders that are still serving in the government at the moment. I think we would do ourselves this favor as a nation if we don't learn from history. History is there for a reason, to teach us how to prepare for the future. We have seen this before. We have seen people idol worship a leader who is misled and even mislead him further into a ditch. There is no justification for blocking President Hakainde in Ndola.
No, there's no justification.
Blocking him in Kitwe.
No.
Blocking him in Chingola, and even risking his life. There is no justification. Don't forget, this is the same police. When Joseph Kaunda was killed and then Samansama were killed on 23rd December 2020, this is the same police force that blamed those deaths on President Hakainde first, and never claimed responsibility. So when we look at the record of Zambia police in terms of owning up, in terms of integrity, I think there are so many holes in that picture. And we just want to remind them that the real power, if democracy is really real in Zambia, then give this power back to the constitution. Let people be free to campaign. It's shocking. You see, being around President Hakainde is very stressful, Council Munshya. It's very stressful because you can't even sneeze without a police officer showing up with an AK-47 near you, because the man is literally surrounded and trailed by police all the time, and that's a violation of his rights.
It's not that these police are trying to protect Mr. Hichilema. They are there to inconvenience Mr. Hichilema.
If they were trying to protect him, why was his door glazed by a weapon today? Why? What kind of protection is tear gas? What kind of protection is a live bullet? And these police must not remember, there's been 6 other presidents before, including the current president. They should not believe the lie that this current president will last forever. Robert Mugabe tried it, it never worked. Idi Amin tried it, it never worked. And sometimes let us be like Nelson Mandela and leave the stage whilst people are clapping. Unfortunately, for Zambian people, that negotiation is past. We are 65 days away from change.
Yeah. Now, Mr. Nawa, I took it personally because this incident happened in Chingola. So what I said was, Rimbi balungu barefo kuipaya. So kanshinga barefo kuipaya, I made a suggestion. Okobati babu bule aka inde hichile. Bae bepa ile kupeta okay, not in Chingola.
I don't think it's just my personal view. I don't think the intention is to kill President Hakainde Hichilema. It's just my, and I know there's a humor in there, but it's just my personal view. I think the intention is to break his spirit. It's to intimidate him, to frustrate him, and to destroy his momentum. I think that's the intention. But even that is wrong, and it's a miscalculation. You know, you have to be like the sons of Issachar in the Bible. They understood the season they were in.
Right.
And this season, even us in the UPND, we are mesmerized by what is happening in the ground in Luapula. I was in Luapula just a few days ago.
Luapula is turning. Kwesu.
Luapula is turning red. We told the Patriotic Front, Copperbelt is UPND. They argued. But now they can see it for themselves. Luapula, I am shocked by how red Luapula. Luapula is red, and they are saying tapali ule werera popa mupando.
Right. No, I do have my relatives in Milenge, and they are telling me now. Milenge is one of the areas where, but they are telling me exactly what you were saying. Yeah, exactly what you're saying.
The time has come. The fruit is ready. People are tired. People are suffering. So you can block Hakainde Hichilema, but you can't block poverty. You can't block violation of rights. People being locked up for 14 days and 35 days. People being charged with things that don't exist when they go to court. It's another nolle prosequa. You can't do things with impunity, or people are not taken to jail. They are not taken to court. But everybody else is. You cannot do that. People lose trust in you. That is a violation of the rule of law.
Right. And so the main issue why General Chipakupaku, we can't trust a statement from the police is because we know that Miss Mwata, Esther Mwata Katongo, she's a liar. Now, we shouldn't even beat around the bush. And so she's a liar because her past history of the statements, they've been lies. They lied about Nsama, they lied about Kaunda, they lied about when they arrest people. Esther Mwata Katongo said that the police have the right to detain a person for as long as they want. That was a lie.
They have no right. They have no right to do that. It's a violation of the Constitution of Zambia. And that is individuals who have personalized their offices and they think they will last forever. In Lozi, we say, Sesi safeli sa tolela. Kambainitonga, we say, hita mani ilayoha. These people, their days are numbered and they have 65 days to lie.
Yeah.
Munshya.
Yes.
Now, do you realize why I told you this police is Madongo police?
Okay, you know what? I don't want to go there. I don't want to. I know you are right, but I don't want to go there because we agree with that, General. The only difference is that you want to send soldiers. What I'm saying is, all we need is to change the commander-in-chief. That's what I'm saying.
Munshya, what I'm just saying here, within these 65 days, because of Madongo police and sending their people from Lusaka who are armed and causing problems, let them not make a mistake of injuring this person or killing this man, because the country will burn fire. And don't ever make that mistake.
No.
Because they should not make that mistake, because the current situation is not the UPND or 2016.
Right.
This afternoon, I spent the whole afternoon talking to the candidates in the Eastern Province. This afternoon, I spent time speaking to certain students of the different universities. This is not the same Zambia.
Right.
So that police should not make a mistake, because by mistake they might end up injuring this man or killing him. The country will be on fire.
Right.
Let me just say it as it is, because I think our police, they've gone too far.
Right. Yeah. Now, there is this excuse that they are using. They're saying that they have a timetable. Now, Mr. Nawa, we need to make it very clear that in my opinion, the police cannot give a timetable to Mr. Hakainde Hichilema.
You know, when you have done wrong for so long, wrong starts to look right.
Right.
And when you are surrounded by bootlickers and violators of laws and ethical people, even murder can look very attractive, an attractive proposition.
Right.
And the truth is, they have violated the rights of activists, young people. Remember last year, this is a bunch of people that said we're going to break the bonds of young people. We're not just going to beat them or break their bonds. So this has been a pattern. To give Hakainde Hichilema a schedule.
Right.
A schedule for what? He's a president of a party who paid 95,000 kwacha to contest in an election that you promised would have a campaign period from May 12th until a few days before August 12th, 90 days.
Right.
And right now, he has not held a rally. You have literally cancelled his rallies in Kitwe. You've everything he applies for, you cancel. What schedule do you want him to have?
Right. So the reason is because the police, what they are supposed to do is, Mr. Hichilema doesn't live in Chingola, but he was visiting Chingola. They needed to facilitate for his program as fast as possible. At the most, how much time can he spend in Chingola? Maybe a day or two. You know,
he spent 20 minutes. He spent 20 minutes in Kitwe yesterday. And just to piggyback on your point of facilitating.
Right.
These are the people who like to say it's global. Let me remind them of what is global. In America, 60 days before the campaign starts, the main opposition leader is given FBI protection and begins to receive FBI briefings slightly almost at the same level as the head of state.
Right.
Here in Zambia, 65 days before an election, almost a month into a campaign period, instead of giving the main contender of the election protection, you are even threatening and endangering his life more. That is not the Zambia we want.
No. And so what we expect is that Mr. Hichilema deserves to be treated like a huge security asset. The Zambian police, they are supposed to facilitate Mr. Hichilema's movements and protect him. When he comes to Chingola, the way the police are supposed to do is, Mr. Hichilema, you are here in Chingola. We've got PF people that are campaigning as well. Now, because you are here, we are going to give you enough time for you to walk around and drive around and say hello to people in Chingola. After one day or two, you're going to go to another town. The PF people who campaign in Chingola are going to continue campaigning. There is no problem there. But if the police wants to stop Hichilema from moving from town Okwisa Kuchue Mpala, you block him Pamwaisen, you block him Pesa. That does not make sense at all.
Remember, this started even in Chilubi Island. There was a by-election in Chilubi Island. And the members of the opposition were given 3 hours to vacate. So I think, Council Munshya, your expectations of these people are rather high. For me personally, and for us as a party, we don't expect anything good to come out of these people. The only good that will come out of Zambia is August 12th, when individual Zambians will take to the polls and retire these men and women in national interest.
Yeah, and I think the retirement is on the president. I think what we need to really change, I believe that the police, being a security institution that follows the modeling from their commander-in-chief. Once we change the commander-in-chief in August, they are going to also toe the line. I think the issue here is not just that the police are doing their own things. I think it is because when they look to the top, they see a leader who has no clue whatsoever, a leader who has no clue, a leader who is shaky and small. So they also begin to behave the way their commander-in-chief models.
In
He's
Eastern
not
Province, they
shaking.
say Njoka ni kumutu. And if you remember when there was an incident at the PF Secretariat a month ago, there was an ultimatum given to the Minister of Home Affairs, which invariably insinuated that the blame was the Minister of Home Affairs. We don't have a Minister of Home Affairs now. Who is commanding the police, therefore? And that is a conversation that I think Zambians must look through and open their eyes to know that Njoka ni kumutu.
Right.
Munshya, Mr. Lungu is not shaky. Mr. Lungu is scared.
Right.
The countdown is on. It's 65 days. It used to be 5 years. It's now 65 days. Very soon it's going to be 30 days. The man is so scared. He's so scared. Because I know how the system works. OP has briefed him. They've told him, Mr. President, unless you rig, you have no chance.
General, there will be no rigging.
There'll be we know they've got plans to rig. We know that.
Okay, okay, General. Okay, but I don't think there is any credible. It's not easy. It's not easy to rig the August 12 election. I don't think so. Dr. Kasonso, what do you have to say before we let Mr. Nawa go?
Yeah, first I want to just congratulate Mr. Nawa's team and his president for showing resilience and stability of attitude and just being collected in the midst of those type of difficulties. The last 10 years, our country has taken several steps backwards in terms of our quest to democratize our way of life. And yes, I hear there is a lot of enthusiasm for the change. Right. But what we must be putting behind is this blight on our country, of bullying and not giving citizens opportunities to actually live their life in their own country. It makes me miss Chiluba, actually, because in Chiluba's time, amayendele, amaisosele, democracy, FA Zambia.
Professor Kasonso, anti-demo, London,
democracy, amaisosele, amayendele, italo chesu, let's put this blight behind us and rebuild a civil country, a civil democracy, and a prosperous country. The rate of failure is so alarming. In this campaign season, we are supposed to hear from the candidates, the message, the plan. We are supposed to look through their character, and it's like even the current president can't even provide us a platform to hear his message, to understand his plans.
Nothing.
The only thing we can see is the character of a bully using the police. Because when you look, I know that we are very frustrated with the police, and we have good reasons to be. But the police are an instrument of power. They are what they are doing is a reflection of Mr. Lungu's character.
Right.
Now, what we also have to ask ourselves is, what kind of a country is that? Ichiwe wale ya kuboda, muku gadinga wale abasungu na ba mwenye na ba Chinese. Abasenda akapi okufunya muzambi okubonfya trucks. Ba muku pepeka opposition na ba police on mafuti kupumbu. We need to put if chawe to funya. Yeah, so that's what I think about that. You know, to fight for democracy in Zambia. We demand democracy to come back.
And how is that going to come back, Professor Kasson? I want you to be direct. How does
people who are
democracy
listening to us here, people who first of all, people who are listening to us here on TV Wakwetu and elsewhere should gather up themselves en masse and go and fire these people and remove them, so we can, you know, reset and start afresh. So the starting point is, you know, we are a country. We must be able to renew ourselves in each and every situation we find ourselves in. Their plan, their program has been wrong for 10 years. There is a strong headwind of just people have fatigue. They haven't fulfilled their promises. They go and crucify structures in Lusaka on debt. There is no money in the country. There's tremendous struggle. The rate of inflation is going very high. Prices of commodities are rising. The survival of the people is under threat. You know, so what the people must do is to not waste this opportunity, but to go and, as Mr. Nawa has said, to go and retire these people in national interest. National interest in this case, akaliuche, akadalama, kwako aichipawo cha chalo, chibe managed by abantu, abakwete kwakasoka kusungire ndalama muchalo. Indalama muchalo nga emo shiri $dollars emo yali mu Zambia. Ifipatala mukavika mo muti mukakula tekuya fe mukongole fintu andije mwa kongola mwambaro kufira okulipira iyo banifumeni pono mbaba nenu bateke ko notumone fo chala abechalo elo mwambo kubatubina ba police konsoko baleya na bakapokola aba ichinga baisa public media banye kofia kasushi ni chipolo polo cha ba police na matia gas teko tulikwayo kwa ibi cyabo kwa kya perela apapene
Vakasonto avene vasishusi vaendera mu helicopter nichi namwevo kanji.
You know, like the men of Isaka. I'm calling them the men of Isaka. The newcomers in the coalition. The men of Isaka said, "That's not the Zambia we want."
Yeah. So Kanshi, Mr. Nawa, on behalf of the people of Chingola, because I've heard very good things from Chingola, I think Chingola is ready. After they saw the way the police behaved towards Mr. Hichilema, the people of Chingola and Chiwempala are prepared and ready.
I think the entire Copperbelt is ready. The entire Copperbelt is depleted of resources. Contracts are going to cadres. Even things like Black Mountain was split and shared amongst cadres. It's been lies after lies. We are going to revive the Black Mountain. We'll empower young people. We'll empower musicians. Lies. We'll open Mulungushi textiles. Lies. We'll put more money in your pockets. Lies. We'll create jobs. Lies. And Mulungushi is about to be launched anytime now, because it always gets, it's like a Kuomboka ceremony every just before the election. I promise you, Mulungushi will be launched. The last time it was launched, it was supposed to create 2,500 jobs immediately. That was 2016, and 20,000 jobs subsequently. It never saw not even a creation of another job. But I promise you, in the next 65 days, something will happen at Mulungushi Textiles. But Zambians are fatigued. Zambians want a leader who will tell the truth, a leader who works in integrity, a leader who will fight for students, young people, mothers, women, a leader who, like Professor Kasoso said, who have a bit of stinginess towards the resources of the country and say, Tempia Shandish, Nimpia Sha Zambia, and put it back in the treasury and put it back in the system. That's the kind of leader Zambia deserves, and that's the kind of leader Zambia is getting on August 12th.
Now, Mr. Nawa, before I let you go, I want to do something unusual. Now, we did not script this, and General Chipakupaku has no idea. I want you to give us the website, but which can be used by some of the people in the diaspora who have cards to give to the Hakainde Hichilema campaign. Because all these diaspora people, They're sending a little bit of money back home, but we want them to also send a little bit of money into the Hakainde Hichilema campaign funds. Therefore, after this address tonight, Hichilema checking a bank balance by aid of Mr. Hichilema. When you go to check the bank balance, we want to see TV to listeners from the diaspora contributed something. What is the website?
So our wonderful diaspora members and family can go to upndzambia.com.org and be able to follow links from there. And those that may not want to do it online, they can contact Uncle Norman Chipakupaku, who is very, very well interlinked within the system. But UPND Zambia is a place to go. And we just want to thank everybody for your support and the sacrifices of everybody, including yourselves, Bakwetu TV, for your wonderful work that you do. And so we just want to appreciate you. Your sacrifices are not in vain, but remember, even freedom has a cost.
Right. Now, before you go, those who are in the diaspora, you can go to www.hhforzambia.com. www.hhforzambia.com. And those of you who want to give money on the numbers, there are 3 numbers. These are MTN mobile numbers: 0763 543153, 0763 543153, 0965 979242. And another number is 096 5979207. And the last number is 0763 543152. Those are MTN mobile money. But those who are in their diaspora and you want to give money, go to www.hhforzambia.com. You can give you money without showing your name, because if you don't want people to know who you are, just give us the money without showing your name. But those are the mobile numbers which you want, which you can get from me. But if you want me to repeat them, I can repeat them, Munshya.
Okay. Now, I can see we have 2 websites here. There is hhforzambia.com, but there is also hh-2021.com.
No.
hh-2021.com.
No, don't use that.
Okay.
There are a lot of people have to be very, very careful. There are a lot of people who are trying to create accounts looking like it's HH account. It's not. And what Nawa has given you is the correct website, and what I've given you is the correct website.
All right. Okay. Thank you very much. Now we know that General Chipakupaku has not hidden this fact that he's actually a UPND operative. I am not. I am just from Chiwempala. Isn't it?
Well,
Absolutely.
For me, I've no apology to make. I've no apology to make, Munshya. I had retired from UNIP. I thought I'd retired. But what has happened in the last 10 years has made me to come back to politics. So I am back as a member of UPND, and I think it's very, very important before I retire finally to get a decent government under HH to bring back that unity. I'm so upset. I've been upset this week because of that gentleman who was in Serenje and in Mkushi calling the Tonga people. I will say it again. Umwino wa Kisushi was in Mkushi and he was in Serenje.
Okay. Let's excuse Mr. Nawa, because we had him booked for a few minutes.
Okay. I want to thank you for having me, and it's been a total pleasure. Again, for those that may have joined us late, President Hakainde is safe, he's well, he's resolute, he's determined, and there is no weapon formed against him that will prosper. The people of Zambia have already chosen. Zambia is ready for elections today, with or without campaigns, with or without rallies. Zambians are ready to vote even tonight at midnight, and that is scaring some people.
Right. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Nawa. We'll call upon you again very soon.
Thank you very much. It was a pleasure.
Okay. Thank you. Professor Kasonso.
Yes.
Mwine wa chisushi. Kwene chibemba. Au mletwerera ko. Ichi chibembe chi techisuma. Alen. Mwine wa chisushi.
Yeah. Yeah. You know,
tafuisa mate. Mwine wa chisushi. Tafuisa mate.
Tafuisa mate. Kumushukusamfya. Kwale wako imbwa. Iya kwata obwembe. Imbwa nga yakwata obwembe. Nishiala afuma from the village hapo Ikala to run around in the other villages. Ile afeire suma abantu. Usually nishiali penembwa. You know, in English they call it a rabid dog.
Right.
A rabid dog. Ile afeire suma. And then a few weeks later, Mwaisa Isanga pafiani alifua ni chifu cha tukuka cha tuka. Oh, imbwa yale suma abantu. Yali pena. And things like that.
Right.
That is how Wakambui is behaving. He's behaving like a rabid dog. You know, it's like, you know, it's like the last round of something like that. There were divisive politics of trying to divide the country. They are just so outdated.
Right.
You know, there is a younger generation of people. Yeah, there is a younger generation of people who will not buy that. But that is how they've been campaigning for the last 60 years. There is a fundamental problem in the Bemba-speaking politicians, and that is where the tribalism usually comes from. And it comes like this. Abatonga babi ifwe fwe basuma no kunyata tunya ngamwa kubutonga bali itemwa ifwe fwe baba bwino pantu ifuta twaitemo. That is not true. That is not true. Just look at the story of a country. When did the Zambezi provinces just cut the nation in half? 6 koloko. Kwalifuma kuna mtungulushi tangu feimo. Umumumishi yeso kukulubemba no kuyoku. Kwa mwalimu wako nangu, the oldest competitive political party in the country right now is the UPND. Mwalimu wako nangu kushi kubumwati MP wa UPND ari yako kuda kumishikuli wachimba kambui. Wa voted UPND. So it is a false narrative that he's selling, and he must be called out. It's a false narrative that he's saying, and they have used it for so many years in so many election cycles, where they go in their villages and stimulate resentment against the Tongas. But the Tongas are a part of Zambia. The Tongas are one of us, and everything in our country we've done together. That's the one Zambia, one nation. It includes Bakaonde, Baloshi, and other groups. Why haven't we, in the Bemba-speaking villages, been able to accept leadership from the Zambezi provinces for the last 60 years? It's Bemba tribalism. We have to call it out and address it. It has been like the knee. Kunoko America to knee on the throat of a black man. The knee on the throat of Zambia, in terms of political leadership, ni Bemba tribalism. Tribalism ya kule. Kama feo basa ya mwisho. Ewa la teka. No.
Na imwebe hapo bamayo bakusamfya ninshino namwe muri bakusamfya so kanshi nafichinja luapula napo pene abena luapula bale ntumina abati nafichinja ku luapula mwebo kwala bachenje
awo kanshi twalashira cyari mone fitengera chihuko the 12 of August twakushana
no ineni nepente nshinwa naimwe tari naimwe ni mabapente ngayo chibuko mwala lumbula general namumfwa
more than pente. We know you drink secretly. We know that. So let's celebrate. Let's celebrate all the time. What I can say, Vakasonso and Munshya, if there's anything which really upsets me, is this tribalism. And it looks like the same card which they want to play every time. And it's becoming irritating. But it was nice to hear the people in Serenge saying to Umwino wa Chisushi, to say, Ubepelef. There is one Lala man who said, my grandmother is Lala, my father is Lala, the whole family, we are Lalas, we are voting for the same Tonga you hate.
Right.
Yeah. I was watching him on the radio. He looked like he was going to explode. Mwebantu, we have been trying to be diplomatic.
We are on TV. Please.
No, Munshya. I think it's time we tell.
But
Munshya, it's time we tell our people that we have had enough of this tribalism.
Right.
I think we have had enough of this tribalism. It's becoming irritating.
Yeah.
And he goes to the extent of saying, when you want to go to HH's house, you have to be careful because Kwalibaya security sana. We know. We know that you want to get rid of this person. Can you imagine, Munshya, if UPND had made a mistake of making Umwino wa Chisushi as our running mate? What could have happened?
Why are you calling him a Umwino wa Chisushi?
I don't even want to mention his name because everybody knows him as Umwino wa Chisushi. That's the fact. That guy.
Please. Please, help me out here.
Yeah, you see, Vayama bakambwi. Vayama bakambwi nifye bachirwa barera ndati bakatolika tabakwete mano. He has lost political credibility, and it's like he has sold his soul. He's of no use to his country. Because if what he can afford at this stage is just a tribal talk,
it appears like we are experiencing internet problems here. I think we are experiencing internet troubles.
I think it's the system in Lusaka trying to get rid of Bakwetu. You are not going to get rid of Bakwetu TV. It's not going to happen. Now, yeah, we know, Munshya. Let's be very frank. PF is working with the Chinese. PF is working with the Israelis. We know that. I think it's time people are told the truth. The Zambian people, you are fighting not against PF. You are fighting against the Chinese and against the Israelis. We know what is happening. The truth is, we are fed up with this tribalism. Zambian people are fed up. And the truth is, you cannot have somebody who's such a tribalist. A few months ago, Kambwiri was in the UK begging for money. We know that. He was begging for money. He said he was broke. Where has he got the money to be flying in a helicopter now from one town to another? Where has he got the money from?
Right.
Basically, he's being sponsored to go and divide our country. And I think Zambians should stand up and say no.
Right.
And for tonight, I just wanted to make it clear that we know about PF, that you are being sponsored by the Chinese, you are being sponsored by the Israelis. We will not accept that nonsense. Me, I was trained in China, and I know how the Chinese operate. Munshya, we have never had an ambassador of a country going to address a conference of a political party. That happened with the Chinese ambassador addressing the PF Congress. What are they interested in? What are the Chinese interested in PF?
Yeah. Let me comment on that.
Right.
They when they were doing these constructions that have been constructed by the Chinese, The Chinese have made heavy investments in Zambia. Another thing that you can look at is the infrastructure that they tried to prop up the electricity. It's just that they brought the wrong machines that were not commensurate with the pressure of the waters, and those were damaged, and trying to fix them, and it has set back that project backwards. So the Chinese have investments in Zambia, and most of those investments are on debt. They are secured through sovereign guarantees, where Valasaina agreements na China to all the Chinese government money and the Chinese institutions money. So they have been told, those people, that if these guys come, your money will not be recovered. But if we are the ones there, you will take over these, because they were sovereign guarantee. So if there is a mistake in Zambia where you put the PF back there, because of the things they signed, the sovereign guarantees and the amounts of money they borrowed, the country will be run by China. Because major institutions that they borrowed for will be taken over by those people. But what we need as a country is to renegotiate those deals and to audit those loans. To audit those loans and the proceeds. Yes. Okay.
Yeah, I think there is something wrong with our network tonight. We've got to
I'm sorry, it's the Chinese and the Israelis. We know that.
General, please. General, please.
So I want to agree with what Wakasonso is saying. The truth is, ZESCO is already gone. If you are not careful, Mazambians, listen to me. ZNBC is already gone. If you are not careful. Kenneth Kaunda International Airport is gone. Why have they not launched KK International Airport? Because it has gone over the cost, and they've borrowed more money, and that airport is going to go. If we're not careful, the mines are going to go. That's what they're trying to defend now. And Zambians, you must wake up. You must wake up. I didn't want to say this tonight, but I have to say it. Zambians, you must wake up.
Thank you. Mr. Kasololo.
Mr. Munshya.
So it appears like me and Bakasonso are the only non-partisan people. You, Mr. Chipakupaku, and you are partisan. Tell us, what is your story?
I must say, first of all, guys, gentlemen, it's been a great show. Dr. Kasonso, Professor, that was really interesting, the information that you provided, very informative. I'm also very happy with what Nawa revealed. Look, as the UPND, all I can say is that we are doing this for the nation. I like what Dr. Kasonso said, that look, we are resetting this nation. We need to reset this nation and get the nation back on the right trajectory. You know, Chiluba attempted to do something like that, where parties were free. Dean Mungomba campaigned all over the country in his time under the Chiluba government. He campaigned all over the country. And in fact, he even thought he was going to win. No one hindered him. There were no police to stop him, block him. All this nonsense we're saying. This is not only archaic, but barbaric. We don't need to be in this type of situation in the 21st century. We need to be moving forward. We're supposed to be talking things like sending satellites into orbit. That's how we should be talking. Not talking about police stopping someone. It's really backward stuff. You know, I was actually born in Chingola. I'm a Chwempala person. You know, that's where my roots are. So for me to see this happening in my hometown. We need to
come up with an agreement. Kasololo, you are from Chwempala, I'm from Chwempala. After the next government after that government should be a Chwempala government. Do you agree?
Well, whatever the Zambian people would want, it will be welcome.
No. Kasololo, please. Support your local team.
Whatever.
Yes.
You see, but we're doing a great job here with the TV Bakwetu that you've set up here. Munshya, I must say you're doing a great job. A lot of us got educated through you, especially when it came to the time when Hakainde Hichilema was arrested. You clearly spelled it out that, look, that was a traffic offense. It was not treason. Also, when it came to issues of Bill 10, you took it upon yourself to explain explicitly what the wrongs were. And we all got educated because of you. So I must say, Bakwetu has represented Chiwempala very well, and we are very proud of you for that.
Thank you. You've still not addressed the critical thing. You see, you politicians, you like going meandering. Critical question. After this government, the next one should be Chiwempala. Yes or no?
You see, as you can see, I'm wearing
I agree with you.
As you can see, I'm wearing a wonderful beret here, a UPND beret. I guess what we can do is we're going to open a very strong UPND section within the Chiwempala to represent you, Munshya.
Bachilufya wetu. Epo muli. Mr. Chilufya, Mr. Patrick Chilufya. He's frozen. Baka Sonso, mwaliveshwa Bachilufya ini?
Mkwani. Bachilufya nshiyaba.
Eba chair Mr. Chipakupaku. Mr. Chilufya is chair of UPND Canada, right?
No. Chilufya Patrick is based in the UK. He's vice chair for the finance team, global finance team.
Okay, who is the chair for Canada? Isn't he Chilufya as well?
No. The chair for America is Msonda.
All right.
Yes.
Okay.
Not the US Canada is Msonda.
You see, I don't even know who is who in UPND.
Because you are not our member, Munshya. So
Dr. Kasonso, do you agree? Eh?
Yes. Kwena tulefai kwa kukachiwe parliament test. Bantu limbike kavula kuba youth kabapela kwe inchito, kabapela kwe migodi, kabapela kuna maisose velaya mukuchita protest Munshya film tina mufyulu. Ichalo 21st century wa Zambia shuwa mwambe cha. Aba iche vinchi balala ndaba iche.
Precisely. We are supposed to be discussing different things at this time. We are lagging behind. Look at little Rwanda, what they're doing right now. It's amazing what the stories are coming out of Rwanda.
Please don't go to Rwanda. No. No.
Our Rwanda.
I think before we even discuss other countries, we just have to look at how we can make our own country better, everything that's going on. For me, it's every politician who goes across the country, what happened today? Every Zambian has got a freedom to go wherever he wants, wherever he wishes to go in a country, as long as it's not breaking any laws. And what happened this morning is the police stopping somebody going to church. Since when did someone going to church become an offense? And those are the things that we have to look at to reach a point where politicians can go wherever they want to go. They can campaign. Every political party has got a right to campaign, to inform the people of Zambia of the reasons why they should be the party to be voted in. That's the job that they have. The PF at the moment, they're just intimidating people. They haven't given their case of why the Zambian people should vote for them. They instead, they decided they're going to fight the competition. The campaign is therefore to speak to the people of Zambia and say, we want to be the party that is going to rule. This is a reason why we should vote for us. They're not even bothering to ask the people, to give the people of Zambia the reason why they should vote for them, because they know they haven't got anything to offer the people of Zambia.
All right. Thank you. General, I think we've got to go now because our network isn't very kind to us.
Yeah, but before we go, Munshya, our Jeremy is there. He's in the Copperbelt. What is the situation in the Copperbelt, Jeremy?
Okay, thank you. I think on the Copperbelt, wherever you go, you'll find it's red. And for all what you saw in Indora, and also what you are about to see, that was today in Kitwe, though we were not allowed. It was something terrific. And what I can say is none of those people were downloaded from wherever or carried from other provinces to come to Dola. No. Those people, we are just finding them as we were moving with the presidential convoy. You find that on Thursday, when the police they gave the permit to do the campaign, that was on Friday and Saturday, only 10 vehicles were allowed. And these 10 vehicles, the party actually complied with what the police wanted. When we start moving now, the people were turning when they just saw HH in the vehicle. They were turning and start following him up. Some were just walking from Kwasinya, moving up to going to somewhere. I don't even know the places nicely in Indora. Moving from
Chipakupaku.
Yes. And coming back into town, just walking, including the children for that matter. So it was something very terrific. Nothing to say people were being taken or people were being transported from southern province or from northwestern. No, those were genuine Ndora residents. And moreover, those are not Jerabos who were cheering President Church, unlike some of the Jerabos we have seen who went after we passed through. They also tried to do their march past just in town center, and we were not allowed to pass through town center. But the people followed us where we were passing because they really wanted to see HH. So that's how.
Jerome, are you telling me you were in the convoy as well?
Yes, I've been in the convoy.
Oh, well done, well done. Thank you so much. So the Copperbelt is red, Munshya. So if the Copperbelt is red, which means Chiwempala is red. So Malusa Bakalam. Now Mulus.
Yeah, actually, what happened to today, what you have seen now, it's like these people are now scared because they have lost the power. They have lost the command of the members of the public. So this is the challenge that now we are seeing the police trying by all means to block wherever HH is trying to go. But this cannot be, you see, you can't stop the change, the wind that is there now. So this is what the thing is. Yeah. And what the people now need to do, wherever the year that HH is there, they should just come out and say hello to him, because he is a friendly man and very flexible person whom you can talk to. And moreover, HH just wanted to tell the people to say, look, they mentioned to say they got KCM about in 2019. Now today, this is 2021. How many jobs have been created? None of the jobs have been created in KCM. Well, they have opened it. So you wanted to explain those things to the Zambian people to say, this is what we want to think. This is what we want to bring on the table, not what these people are trying to tell to you. They sent Antonio Mwanza by 18 somewhere. I've seen him. He was heading back. He was in Kawi, but in the morning he was on the Copperbelt. Now by 18, I heard he was featuring on Power FM in Kawi, something like that. So he couldn't also come to do the damage control with the talk. Yesterday, there was the bowman who was trying to do some damage control on Sun FM. He couldn't do the damage controls, just talking about the mines, which he cannot understand properly how the mines are being managed and run. Was just saying, no, we got the mines. Right. Now we are selling copper by ourselves. We are having money by ourselves. All this time, have you not been selling copper and all that? Yeah.
Right. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Kanika. We really, you are a valued member of our team, because you are not only a resident pharmacist, but you are also a person right on the ground, on the Copperbelt, right on the Copperbelt. Now, General Chipakupaku misunderstands something about Chiwempala. I'm not saying that right now Chiwempala is competing with Mr. HH. No. What I'm saying is that after
Actually, I'm also from Chingola. Actually, I was also born in Chingola, not Chwempara, but Kabundi there.
Yeah.
That's my hometown.
I'm not saying that
So-
Chwempala should compete. Chwempala has fully and 100% endorsed Mr. Hakainde Hichilema for president.
Fantastic.
Correct.
That's good news. That's good news. We can talk after the first 10 years. Then what to empower, probably you can think of that.
That's
For
what
now,
I've been telling you.
For now, thank you so much for endorsing us. And for our viewers, I think that this has been a fantastic night. Remember, we are counting down. It's now 65 days to go.
Yeah.
And I think it's over to you, Munshya. For me, it has been a long, long, long weekend. For those who have participated from Scotland, I say thank you so much. And good to see Dr. Kasonso. Over to you, Munshya.
Professor Kasonso, last words, please.
Yes, sir. Mwebekala chalo mwebale tukutika bonse okay abena chibwempala bali kumanina bonse but abena ndola makamaka mushiti bonano abena solwezi bonse bali mwebena satia but 12 August muye no tuma voters card muye funyapo ubuteko bwampelwa mano ubwapi control la economics ya chalo amachito takuri imiti mufipatala takuri ifyo bakwete fifi polo fya kusampula saba lefwaya ukuimini nako. So I want to just thank you for listening to TV Wakwete today. And I want to encourage every Zambian to be conscious of the new republic that we need to recreate and just to sweep this date and remove this blight from our country and reset from the point of view of economics, the unity of the nation, and our place in the regional and global economy. Zambia, we can do better. We can do better.
Yeah. Yeah.
And thank you, Professor Frank. We owe you a program because we want to hear from your book and your vast exposure to human development.
That'll be a pleasure to do that with you.
But there are so many comments each time you speak. Now it's like TV Bakweto is assembling a star team because when Professor Kasonso speaks, people like him. When Jerome Mekanika speaks, people like him. When Kasorolo speaks, people like him. When General speaks, they quote about the market in ever. And when Frank Sadiki speaks, they also say your accent. You see, Frank, please say something because there are some people who want to, they can't sleep tonight until they've heard you say something.
What do they want? What do you want me to say?
I can read their comments. They're saying the accent. They want to hear you speak. Some are even closing their eyes.
It's just a message for the people of Zambia. It's a conversation I was having with a lot of other people. So I was born in Zambia. I live in England. I've got a lot more freedom in this country than most of people do in Zambia at the moment in their homeland. So when you make a decision that you're going to make this year, don't think about what people are going to offer you today. Think about your future. Think about how your future is going to look like. Think about what you want for your families. Not just think about now. What government is going to give you the best result for your families, for your future, that you can have what other people don't have. My parents moved us here so that we can have a bright future. And I always ask myself a question. Why could it be that we could have had a bright future back home? You and me know the amount of corruption that goes on. It's all about who you know. They send all their people, all their children abroad, and they never develop our schools. They never develop our hospitals. They build us these hospitals with no medication. It doesn't matter how posh, how nice a hospital is. If there's no medication in there, you don't get healed. It doesn't matter how big an airport is. If you haven't got enough planes that comes into that airport, it's not financially viable. And if people borrow money and they borrow all this money and build roads, it's money. A few years later, they're going to need to build new roads. What they're going to do? They're going to borrow. They borrow more money. And who suffers? Our people in the country, they suffer. We don't know what they eat. They don't know where the job is going to come from, because this government has spent the last years they've been in power filling their pockets and taking all the money that belonged to you, the Zambians, away from you. So this year, you make a decision. It's going to be the biggest election that we've probably had since 1991. It's going to be crucial. We get this wrong, the financial implications for our future are going to be absolute dire. So it's not about who's PF, it's not about who's UPND, it's not about what other people around you are telling you. It's all about you make a decision of who's going to be best for this country. Measure it with what the current people in power have done, what they've given you, and ask yourself a question. What is going to be the best result for this country? This election is crucial. We get it wrong, the consequences are going to be huge.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Now, please, team, stay behind, because General always has something to say behind the scenes. So please stay behind. I'm going to sign off here, but please don't go anywhere. Stay on. Thank you so much. Thank you, Frank. Thank you, Patrick. So thank you very much. This has been TV Bakwetu, Elias Munshya here, signing off. And please make a date with us next week. We are not very sure of how the days are going to distribute themselves, but God bless you and God bless our country. For those that are sending stars, of course, do send stars to TV Bakwetu, because apparently TV Bakwetu requires those stars. So please send them, as many as possible, okay? Thank you so much, and God bless you and God bless our country. Good night. And to those that are still afternoon, we'll see you.